Is emerging on the face of the earth a new human, an infinite human, and that infinite human is you. Join Elizabeth Monroy weekly for enlightening discussions, multidimensional journeys, profound meditations, and empowering visualizations as we co-create the new consciousness renaissance together with other blossoming infinite human beings who are shifting the old paradigms of our broken, fragmented, finite 3D Earth and alchemizing it into a more expansive, unified, loving, infinite reality by reclaiming their true divine infinite power within as the co-creators of the new infinite Earth. Join us weekly for the Infinite Human Talk Show, hosted by Elizabeth Monroy, every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
And hello, my divine, infinite human beings. You're all that is, ever has been, and ever shall be. And welcome to the Infinite Human Talk Show. And what is going on the planet? I mean, the energies are off the chart. I'm sure you are all feeling it. If you're not, then you must be heavily sedated or in areas of really low frequency, with the high 5 OG trees and chemtrails and everything, but wow. And so today we're going to talk about what is going on our planet, and kind of put it into a whole perspective. And as you know, I just started with the Bold and Brave TV, so I'm so glad you're here. We're televising it, it's podcasting, we're doing it all over the place. But I really want to invite you to put in your comments if you're in a texting situation, or you can call in and ask questions, give comments, share your personal experiences, because I really want to move this into more of a open it up to more of a planetary interactive, and we're multinational. I live in Italy, so this is broadcasting, at a later time. I know sometimes it's hard for everyone to jump in live at the right time, but I do this every week, 12 noon, New York time, Eastern Standard Time. I just say that, and Europe's about to get on daylight savings time, so it'll be 6 o'clock in Europe and 5 in UK next week. So, but this week, I'm just kind of wanting to feel you out and kind of orient you to the enormity of the times in which we are living. Okay. So, yes, things are crazy, but this has never happened before. What we are experiencing has never happened before in a time matrix. And what do I mean by time matrix? When I say time matrix, I'm talking about a universe, okay? Five harmonic universes, okay? So it's huge. And that's what that is the divine geometrical pattern of our infinite multiverse in which we live. So this is a time of great change, great shifting, and it is recorded. Of course, if you know what the Schumann resonance is, many of you know what it is. It spiked during 911 because it kind of measures the energetic temperature and the heartbeat. Really, it's considered to be the heartbeat of our Earth, and of course, the emotional, energetic template of our planet. And then the solar flares, which if even what I call the fallen science, which is the only science we know, it's not the true Christic science, which I will talk about today, but science is even recording this in the solar flares, because whether you call them solar flares, solar sneezes, solar flashes, but the sun is a big part of this. Now, I'll tell you what's really happening is that this whole time matrix is under a fail-safe, which kicked in around in 2011, 2012, when the Mayan calendar says the end times. It was the end times of all the distortions, all the problems, all the fallen, and I'll say angels or parasitic entities, activities at enslaving humanity, not just on this planet, but in the entire time matrix that we've been living in. So it was a corrective action that was taken. And I know many of you, and just in my lifetime, it was becoming very almost a cry of, where is God? Where is God? We felt like God had abandoned us. And God, or the God source worlds or the higher dimensions or the divine angelic guardian races had never abandoned us. Never, never, never. But we had been encased in a matrix, and a lot of people hear the word matrix, which is not only mind program, but it's actually scientifically, and I'm talking about the high science, the true science, the colonic science, um, of how they engineered actually a matrix, a frequency fence, a artificial time loop by manipulating and moving our earth out of its correct alignments, and hence we have the wobbles. So this is very complicated. I'm going to try to just give you an overall view of what's going on. I hope you grasp the enormity of it now. And with the Infinite Human Talk Show, we will be discussing this in great lengths. So if you're lost, that's good, okay? Because my objective is not, I'm not here just I'm not here to teach you something new. My soul mission, and I always like to be very transparent about this because a lot of people have things going on now, especially in the awakening community, and they have hidden agendas behind it. And I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have one agenda, and my agenda is to be a catalyst for you to remember who you are, how divine, how infinite, and how what an angelic being you are. All right. And if you're tuning into me, that means you are. Okay. Even if you don't understand what I'm saying, just listening to my voice sparks that divinity, and the frequency that I run in my voice will begin to create shifting algorithms in your brains that counteract the AI algorithms that are coming from your phones, and all the distorted electrical impulses and the Metatronic base pulses that come from all our devices, and from around us, and have come from the organic earth. No longer. This is what you're going to also be feeling when you get out in nature, and that's why you feel so good in nature. So now I know I'm jumping all over the place, but right now I want to spend a minute here talking about how you feel. Okay, let's start inside first because it all begins and ends with you. All right, you are the change, and as you shift internally, you shift your external world. So it's an inside job now. It's not going to happen outside in, it's going to happen inside out. And as you begin to shift, which means you purge yourself of the lower frequencies of your shadows, of your triggers, of your dark side, of your hurts, pains, fears, angers, anxieties, as you begin to move away from that and begin to fly, like a caterpillar. That's kind of been the theme lately. A caterpillar metamorphosizing into a butterfly, into your true nature of divinity. And as you do that, you rise, you fly into the higher dimensions or the higher frequencies. And this is restoring your divine holographic blueprint, and it is restoring to what you are supposed to be. And many of you, maybe this sounds like pie in the sky, but this is the truth. This is what you were supposed to be. You are divine. You were never supposed to age. You were never supposed to have dis-ease. You were never supposed to die. That is not part of the package. That's not part of the divine technology. And I just want to kind of correct a few things right now that are predominant, but a lot of people are buying into this belief that we are AI created us, blah, 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 artificial technology. And I said this last week on the show, and you'll hear me say it a lot. Artificial technology, all this stuff that Elon Musk, and, that Trump making it the capital, AI capital of the world, and all this, shoving it down your throat now, where you need your black mirror to go anywhere and to be anywhere. I'm not saying it's bad, it's evil, but it's disruptive. It is a disruptive technology to our divine technology. It is artificial. There is a divine technology that we have had stolen from us. Okay, it's inside of us, and it was also in the ancient world, and now they're calling it Tartarian. Okay, and we'll talk a lot about that Tartarian architecture, Tartarian technology. Next week, we're having the great Eon Parks on. Who's going to be, he's such a beautiful soul that has such keen insights into Tartarian technology, because he he combines it with his vast knowledge of colonic science. So he knows the true science, and he understands the resonating and toning and mathematical geometrical patterns of Tartarian technology, like no one else on the planet between you and me. But he'll be coming on. But the point I'm making is that we were given divine technology where we had 12 strands of DNA. That was our Christic temple, our Crystalla temple. We did not age, we did not die. We, could do all the things that have been attributed to the true Christ, the true Christ. Whether you call it, say, changing water into wine, walking on water, et cetera, healing, those kind of things, because of the frequency of which he held, because of his 12 strands of DNA. And he was here to help restore that in our Earth's template, the grids of our Earth, and to transmit those Christic codes back to us, because they've been stolen from us. So that's another story, and I did a talk show about that too. So anything I'm talking about, I've either talked about before or we will be covering. And it is also in my book, The Infinite Human, which is available on Amazon. So I know I'm talking about a lot right now, but I want to get back to how you feel, okay? Because all this has to do with what's going on in the now, because everything is happening in this now moment. So, how are you feeling? That's the question I want to ask. How are you feeling? Okay. So, if you're like so many people, and I hear you telepathically, I talk to my friends, in real time, going out to lunch here in Italy, or just getting messages from you on social media. And I know we've been through and I always say this, you'll hear me say it, because every time it is unprecedented energy that comes in, and this is coming through the Crystal River failsafe. It's coming through the Christic codes of the plasma rainbow frequency through our sun. It's coming through the Nomi seed from our Earth. We're feeling it everywhere. And so a lot of people are feeling extremely tired because we're in the middle of this spring equinox portal. And, it's just going to keep getting stronger. So the best thing to do is to learn how to deal with it, to orient it, because what it is doing is wonderful. Okay. I know it's no fun to wake up at, say, the witching hour or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, not be able to sleep, and then, have to get up and live a 3D life. Maybe if you have to get up early, go to work or whatever, you're tired. So many people have been just bone tired all the time. I know myself, I was sleeping, especially like Friday was huge, and Saturday was the 22nd, and the 22nd is always a cutaway month in every month. And it was also the spring equinox. So it was a huge period of transformation, of shifting. I can't tell you how many people came up to me and told me they made life altering. I'm not going to say just life altering, because we have many alternative identities happening in the now, because there's no time, but many people call those past lives. So we have many patterns that we've carried from lifetime to lifetime, from identity to identity. And many people took the opportunity to end those karmic patterns, those dysfunctional victimizer, martyrdom type programs that we have been programmed to have. So this is what's going on right now. And as you do that, as you shift onto a higher timeline, as you shift out of the old fallen artificial time loop, the 3D Earth programming, and you shift into the higher dimensions, well, what happens? You have to purge that. You have to purge those lower frequencies. So you're doing, if you are tired, most likely you're doing immense work right now, immense inner work of lifetimes. So of course you're going to do them in your dreams. You're going to need to rest, because your body is going through such major shifting, and it's a time to be loving and to be easy on yourself, and to detox, because when these lower frequencies are purged from your body, from your emotional body, your pain body is detox, is liquefied, begins to dissolve. Your mental body, your spiritual body, all those bodies are purging out these lower frequencies. What's happening? it has to come out. It's going to come out maybe like, in diarrhea or, having to urinate all the time. It's time to drink a whole lot of water, which just reminds me I have to get my water bottle. It's a time to rest. It's a time to detox. If you can take salt baths, or for me, I swim in the sea, the ocean, or hot springs, or, sweat if you can, whatever you can do, take eating things to help you purge, taking herbs, but you need to begin to start attuning yourself to that. But I will tell you what the name of the game is right now. This is the most valuable possible commodity you can have to deal with these incredibly pivotal, incredibly, and yes, I will say in some ways very, very, disturbing, okay? Because everything is just, it's like being in the middle of a restless sea. Everything is shifting. Timelines are coming into manifestation and dissolving, coming in and dissolving. So everything is uncertain and agitated because it's these lower frequencies that are purging themselves. And this is 2025, a year with a numerology which is 9, which means everything's coming to a completion of a cycle. So what's the best commodity, all right? What is gonna get you through this this year, this very challenging year, and this beautiful year? It's a magnificent year to make major quantum leaps in consciousness. And this is why I had Mary Costello on last week, dear, dear, wonderful soul sister. And this is why we all say the women are leading the way now. The best, most precious commodity you can possibly have is intuition. Your intuition. It's a skill, it's an ability that we all have, male and female, but the magnetic female with that Merkaba spin, the magnetic female has it more. It's just because we're in a magnetic universe, a harmonic universe, okay? Time matrix, this one is magnetic. So the magnetic has more power, which is why the women have been so suppressed. But that female intuition, you always heard it, and if you're a guy, you have it too. But grab onto that intuitive female, to the woman who's been able to embody her intuition, who is not giving it away in an attempt to be like the men, because that is where the power is. That is your ability to know the future and act accordingly. All right. And right now the future is not known because this is a year, I would say, to stay small, to observe, to, participate to some extent, to the extent that you feel called to. But most of the things you're going to participate in is to put an end to it, to put an end to a karmic cycle, to finish destructive, dysfunctional relationships, to leave jobs that are not giving back to you, to tie them up in a bow and send them off. To just finish up any family traumas and conflicts, to finish up anything that is holding you back to the lower timelines. That's what the story of this whole year is about. So I hope that set the tone. We're gonna take a short commercial break in just a few moments here, but and I also want to open it up if you have any questions or comments. And if you're not listening to this live, you can always email them to me at my website, infinitehumanproductions@gmail.com, and everything's on my website, www.infinitehuman.com. But so this is a time to just center yourself, to be peaceful, to be calm in the eye of the storm as everything around us is shifting. Just try to be detached, try to be in equanimity, try to observe. And this is a really good time to be peaceful, to learn to just chill, okay, to meditate. And at the end of this broadcast, I would like to take you on a very, very short meditation that you can move into very quickly to just access the higher frequencies. Because as you access the higher frequencies, you will rise above duality. And duality is illusion, this right or wrong, left or right, blue or red. All that is just divide and conquer tactics. It's all an illusion. It's all conflicting. And we're seeing so much of that coming out now, purging itself, really. So it is a beautiful time to be alive, but it is very challenging because you who have chose to be on this planet now at this time have chosen to come here to be the vanguard, to be the change, to do it differently. And as you change your own life to an optimal future, to the heroic version of yourself, you change the entire planet. So just think about that as we take a very short commercial break.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Hello and welcome back. It's so nice to be with you. I hope you can feel the love that I have for you uh, as part of humanity, and that is something that we're all moving into. Believe it or not, it's a real truth. You know, I know a lot of us say, "Oh, we love everything," but as you rise above duality, you realize there is a oneness that we all possess, and I kind of like to think of it as water. And if you look at a snowflake, every snowflake is different. We're all unique. We're all so different. We're all so special. We all come here with a very unique soul mission and purpose, but yet we're all water. Okay. So as you rise above this duality, and this year is the year that we're finishing all that duality. So you may see a whole lot of it. Just don't jump into it and try to remain centered in that water part of yourself, that divine water, the frequency that's coming through, actually the waters. And in fact, last week, Mary Costello talked about the waters, you know, and the holy waters of the womb, you know, the waters of the birthing waters. So the water frequency is holding such high frequency right now. And if you can just begin to get that sense of that love that comes through, the infinite love, and it's infinite truth and it's infinite source, because I know so many people, they send me messages, they ask me, Elizabeth, what's real? How can we know what's going on, you know, in this time of great fakery, you know? And it is crazy now, because now we've got the AI things coming out, and you know, you can see videos where you don't know if it's real or not. You know, you don't know people that you've trusted, maybe people that have been at the forefront of the awakening movement, perhaps have an agenda, and their agenda's beginning to come out now. So one of the things, just time will always reveal all. So if you just can watch people, get a sense of them. And then last week Mary talked about the women. You know how we have that intuition. In fact, we all have it as children, and we're talked out of it, our feelings. But as a little person, you navigated the entire world, and you're alive today because of your emotions and the feelings you had with different situations, with different people. You knew if they were good or safe or not. So you need to go back to that inner child and begin to use that to navigate. All right. But I would say this is not a good time. This is not the year to, invest in something. To lay the foundation for something, to start something new, it's a good year to start dreaming, to begin to really crystallize in your thoughts what you want to create next year. Next year is 2026. It's one in numerology, and that means new beginnings. But this year's a lot of things that are fake are going to arise, a lot of opportunities that are illusions. There's smoke and mirrors. So if you start to put your quantum, your energy, your money, your attention in that, you're going to end up, just like an oasis. It'll just evaporate, and you'll be left, holding the bag. You'll be left backwards. You'll be left, worst scenario, you'll be lost in the time loop again, and that's not where you want to be. This is your year to get out of this time loop matrix. And that's why all this is happening right now. So it's a time to be peaceful. It's a time to stay small. It's time to determine for you, what really matters in your life. Yesterday I went out and had a Sunday lunch. And you know what? It was so simple, but it was probably so beautiful. The food was really good here in Italy, and the food is so good. And my friend is such a great cook. The people were peaceful. There was no one there and we had commented on that because there had been other people who'd been invited who were kind of like not at peace within themselves. So everyone there was just enjoying each other's company, talking, having a good time, going for a walk. And I think it's time, especially for Americans, because we've gotten so far removed from the simple days, and I've lived a while, so, when I look back to, the, turn of not turn of the century, I'm not that old, but, the times that I grew up in, life was much simpler. So if we can get back to when I say what's real, I'm talking about organic, I'm talking about nature, I'm talking about people, just being with them without any kinds of agendas, relaxing, spending time alone if you don't have those kind of people yet, because they will come. Those kind of people are coming back into our lives. We're finding each other, all right? We are finding each other. But this year is probably a year where there's going to be a lot of things that raise their heads for our attention. Okay, so um, I was going to talk about the true history of our time matrix, but that's kind of a big topic. But I will just say this, okay? We did not get here, okay? How did we get here, okay? Because people look around and say, God, things are so terrible. And then other people say they're not terrible, they're just being made visible. And that is true. They are just made visible because it's been really terrible for a long time. And when I say a long time, I'm talking about 260 billion years. Just so you can understand where we are now, okay? Because this has been going on for over 260 billion years when our time matrix of 5 harmonic universes, and it's okay if you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm just kind of, because you will eventually have memories of this. I promise you, if you just keep listening and keep opening these pathways in your brains, because you were part of this, you were there. But though we were invaded by a fallen parallel time matrix universe, and that caused all kinds of problems in our time matrix. And we've talked a lot about this over the past year on this talk show. But what happened was we had warring factions. And so we had a Stargate, the reptilians, and everyone's, oh, reptilians, the bad guys, those lizards, those reptilians. And yes, but there's much more than that going on here, guys. There's so much more because there was also the holiest of holies. The reptilians were from Stargate 10. The Elohim, the holiest of holies, the highest of highs, were from Stargate 11. And they were the ones that were infected. And they were the ones that blew up Stargate 12, which was our connection to divine infinite source, our way in and out of this time matrix, and our surrendering to thy will be done of infinite God source or the divine creator. And they said, no, we'll be God ourselves. And they started the whole war that's been going on for eons, really are thousands of years. So we're talking about billions of years between these fallen Anunnaki, okay, that were created by the Anu Elohim from Stargate 11 against the draconian reptilians. It's been a war between the two of them. And then they've divided off into factions. So this is why you see in the Bible, and again, I know many of you, this holy book, the Bible, unfortunately, so much of it was removed. So much of it was kept out. And the original texts were the Mahabharata, the Mahabharata, and in India they call it Mahabharata, but that still doesn't have all of it. But that was the original ancient texts that were the foundation of all religions. But all religions got hijacked. But you hear things like, Satan. Okay, we're talking about Satan is not just a person, but it's actually a kind of like a faction, a collective, a mafia group of the House of Satan. And then you hear the Luciferians, okay, which are, there was a being, yes, there was a being that we all know that did more damage to our planet than any being we know. And, as Christic angelics, we all know and love the guy unconditionally, but he's has wreaked havoc on our world. And he's been called by many names, I have many names, Enki, Thoth, and Lucifer. All right. And he has many factions. We have Thothian, Jehovian, Anunnaki factions. So this whole, just like, me, okay, for example, I'm an American who lives in Italy, and, we have people I went out to lunch with a gal who was born in Egypt, but she lives in Belgium, but now she lives in Sicily. That's been going on in our multiverse forever. And we have alliances, just like during the war, we had, Japan and Germany. We've had dark alliances, where these fallen houses, these fallen collectives have grouped together to enslave, to capture, to parasite off of us. And because they're fallen angelics, because they have severed themselves from, in Stargate 12, from infinite God source, they have to feed off of others. They have to parasite, okay? They are vampires, and they've made us their food, like Michael Jackson says, you're a vegetable. You're a vegetable. They feed on you because you're a vegetable. Yeah, that's what he says. And you knew, and most people that have been involved in the satanic record business know because they had to participate in it. But the signs have been all around, that, and that's why we live with such pain amplification, because they feed on loosh, which is the distorted energy that they can assimilate, which is pain and suffering and child sacrifice, satanic rituals, and they've polluted our ley lines. They've polluted our earth. They've polluted our power centers, our stargates, our chakra systems, the dragon nodes where all the ley lines come together. They've disconnected all the ancient Tartarian technology. And now, though, the good news is, okay, I've told you how terrible things are, but now the good news is it's all coming back online. And the best part is that our earth has been restored. Really, I can say organic earth and her grids are purifying themselves, and they're returning to their true crystalline structures. And, the trees, the animals are holding higher frequencies. We're all moving into these higher frequencies, and it feels wonderful when you're in nature. And if you can unplug, you can drive out of the big cities, you can get into nature, it feels great. But the other good thing is that if you are in a big city, because I was like, 4 months ago, I was like, oh God, get out of the US. It's so terrible. But even in the US, they have these ancient Tartarian structures and they are holding higher frequency, even though they've disconnected them. They can't. And we're going to start as the veil is being lifted. We're going to start seeing, knowing what we're looking at. We're going to start just by knowing. It's going to be demanding that these things are restored to us. We are going to be escaping this prison of time. So it's an inward job first, all right? And then as collectively, as we all begin to awaken and we know what we're looking at, we will make all things aright. All right. So I'm a very uplifting person. I think if you can hear the frequency in my voice, I'm passionate about this. I actually stayed behind on planet Earth just to kind of be a light in a guide in these difficult times. My divine counterpart, my twin soul, left 20 years ago. It's been 20 years. It seems like yesterday to me, but we still work together very much. And he is in Eartha, which is the highest emanation. This is where our planet is going. This is a true organic timelines and trajectory for our planet. It has nothing to do with AI. I'll just assure you that. So we work together to try to help, to be a guide during these times. So my hope is with this show is that it will be inspirational, that when you turn me on, it'll start sparking those memories. It'll start opening up the pathways of your divinity, of your infiniteness. It'll counteract all the external world that's just aimed at, making you feel blah, making you feel like you're powerless, like you're helpless, like you don't know what's going on, you're confused, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't even have to go there because it's out and about nowadays. And it's purging. It's just purging. But this hopefully can be a refuge for you, a point of reference that you can turn on. You can even go to sleep to. You can listen to, because I know people have been, there have been people who have done videos like that for me when I was, as I was evolving, and they were reference points that helped me remember how divine I was. They were like a pulse, a Christic pulse of the base pulse of reality, of truth, of love, of unity, of what's real. And I think we're becoming more and more hungry for that. We're needing that. And as I supply it to you, hopefully then you can, like a ripple, pebble, you can supply that to those around you, because we are, it's a done deal. The Crystal River failsafe has been activated, and it was a touch and go thing, but it's good. And I can promise you that our entire time matrix is now clearing itself. The serum, the serum that is the cure for all these distortions has been let go. But it's a little bit of a rocky ride, and even me today, I'm kind of, because the energy's so heavy, but it's good heavy, because it's like this liquid plasma that's just moving through my body, purging everything out. And I have felt so much lighter, such a different person. My body is so different. It's really restoring its divine template. And that's something that we can all do now. That's what's going on. So, okay. Oops. Okay. So, skip and break and just got to the end of the show. Okay. So, I'm getting a message here. I think we need to take another short break, and then we're going to, I'll leave you with a short meditation if I have a chance. Okay.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery, or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related disease. diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense Radio Show with host Dr. Broderick. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
And welcome back. And I'm just going to leave you with a very short meditation that hopefully it can carry you into this next quantum leap that you're on the precipice of making. So just take a nice deep breath. If you're driving, just stay focused on what you're doing. But you can also just find that peaceful place as you breathe in. I am. And exhale, infinite, 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 infinite. Breathing in, I am. And exhale, love, love, love. Breathing in, I am. And exhale, peace, peace, peace. And just feel deep, deep, deep within your heart of hearts, this divine, infinite spark. This is the spark of creation, infinite source that lives within your heart, that has never, ever, ever been snuffed out. At times it may have wavered, but it is always there. And just remember to fan that divine sparkle of creativity, of your own uniqueness, of your own intuitive voice that you can learn to trust. Every day, more and more, it will grow brighter and brighter, and it will guide you through these challenging times to the highest optimal version of yourself on the highest optimal future. And this is your feeling, your gut feeling, your intuitive feeling. It's following your heart. It's following your bliss. It's following the path of divine joy. Because, dear ones, beloved ones, my infinite human blossoming family, you've got this. You've got this. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll see you next week with the great Ian Parks. And please subscribe to my website, infinitehuman.com, where I have all these, all my books and all the podcasts and all kinds of blogs. So until next week, ciao for now.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Infinite Human Talk Show with your host, Elizabeth Monroy. We hope today's episode has inspired you to join the new consciousness renaissance and be the change by reclaiming your true divine infinite nature within and becoming an infinite human and a co-creator of the new infinite earth. Tune in next week for another empowering episode. Until then, have an infinite week.